It goes on the record, and it was sanctioned. What? So Jake Paul paid to get the W on his record?
Bruh.
For what? For your own personal satisfaction?
Bruh.
Or the fight, who'd you think was gonna win?
Tyson, because I didn't think it was gonna be fixed.
You thought it was fixed?
Absolutely it was fixed.
Fix on the fights. It's not fair. It's an embarrassment on boxing. He shouldn't be doing this. It's so embarrassing. He's fighting old men.
According to recent reports, AnthonyJoshua has hit back at Jake Paul, accusing him of having all his fights rigged. Jake Paul's boxing career has drawn attention not only for his victories, but also for growing suspicions regarding the authenticity of some of his fights. One fight that raised eyebrows was his bout with Chavez Jr. Many observers noted that Chavez appeared unusually passive in the ring, barely throwing meaningful punches and seemingly going through the motions. Critics suggest that his performance indicated he was more focused on earning the payday than genuinely competing, leading to speculation that the fight might have been orchestrated to favor Paul's record.
Since he started fighting, why is he not fighting a real boxer? Everyone he's been fighting is too old. The only time he fought a real boxer, in Tommy Fury, he got beat. He's useless, he's crap, and all this. Now, I can see why a lot of people are saying that, but I just want to ask you this, if you are one of them people saying that, why doesn't Jake fight a real boxer? Now, Jake has fought 4 real boxers, if you like, not including the MMA fighters, in his career. And with them 4 fights, he won 3 and he lost 1. So that right there tells us that he's terrible, right? Well, I want you to think about it this way. This guy, if it's his 4th professional boxing fight, he's just went in the ring.
Adding to these concerns, Oscar de la Hoya commented on Jake Paul's previous matchup with Mike Tyson, suggesting that the fight was also fixed. He explained that Paul paid Tyson to secure a win on his record and noted that many analysts observed Tyson holding back and not engaging with the same intensity expected of a professional bout. De la Hoya emphasized that this was not an isolated incident, implying a pattern of staged outcomes in Paul's career. Even elite boxers and analysts have weighed in on the situation.
How staged this fight was. I do believe it was scripted, and I believe that Tyson was certainly held back. Look, I'm a fighter, and I can see it. It goes on the record, and it was sanctioned. So Jake Paul paid to get the W on his record?
Bruh.
For what? For your own personal satisfaction?
Bruh.
I keep telling you, if you want to be a real fighter, like you say...
Deontay Wilder expressed skepticism about the upcoming fight between Paul and AnthonyJoshua, citing the significant size difference as a reason to believe it could be scripted. While Wilder's comments fueled speculation, Joshua himself has publicly rejected any notion of a predetermined outcome, confirming that there is no clause in his contract requiring him to hold back or limit his performance against Paul.
Me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua is a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's current, he's active, you know, and this is going to be the first time that we see Paul, you know, fighting an active fighter. You know what I mean? We seen the Mike Tyson, that was all fun, that was cute, you know what I'm saying? It's fun and games and stuff, but now you're dealing with a real professional, you know, and so we'll see how it ends up you know, like I said, I think it's scripted, but, you know, we're going to see. At the end of the day, I just want everybody to have fun. I want them to enjoy themselves because we risk our lives for others' entertainment, and just go home safely to be able to have memories and say we did a great job.
Thank you. Let's get a bomb squad to end.
AnthonyJoshua has firmly addressed the speculations surrounding his upcoming fight with Jake Paul, dismissing any claims of prearranged outcomes. He clarified that there is no clause in his contract requiring him to hold back or limit his performance against Paul. Joshua emphasized that he approaches the fight with full commitment, intending to compete at his highest level. By rejecting any notion of a scripted contest, he reinforces the integrity of the matchup and signals that Paul will face a genuine test in the ring. Joshua's stance highlights the contrast between previous controversies surrounding Paul's opponents and the reality of facing a seasoned former heavyweight champion who will not compromise his effort or skill.
Start believing in him because, like, they don't believe it because they're saying, how is he beating these guys? I think they can't get their head around, how did he beat Anderson Silva? How did he beat Nate Diaz? How did he beat Mike Tyson? I'm telling you, there's no stipulation in the contract where I have to take it easy on him.
Are you excited for this one, Anthony?
Yeah, really. I've trained really hard, so I'm looking forward to putting my skill.
David Hay offered a further perspective, suggesting that Paul might underestimate the challenge of facing a true elite fighter. Hay noted that Paul could be relying on his previous experiences with allegedly scripted fights to believe he can navigate Joshua without difficulty. However, Joshua has reportedly refused any scripted arrangements, insisting that the bout will proceed as a genuine contest. He pointed out that this reality poses a significant challenge for Paul, as he now faces a legitimate and highly skilled opponent rather than one who might accommodate him for financial gain or publicity.
You're going to go into this fight with Jake Paul with the same mindset after seeing him fight on a beat on points a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. My opinion is no. I think he feels zero fear in this fight. He's in a unique situation where he's going into a boxing ring with someone he doesn't believe deserves to be there. So is he going to be paying the price in training? Is he going to be getting those early nights? Is he going to be pushing himself in sparring to get the very best out of himself, like he did for the Ngannou fight? Unknown. I don't know. I don't think he will. I don't think he'll want to risk having any hard sparring just in case he gets injured. Because if he gets injured, he misses this $75 million payday against someone he doesn't believe will be good enough to be a legitimate sparring partner for him. You know what I mean? So it's a very unusual situation, very, very unusual. And, you know, obviously all the advantages are in Anthony Joshua's favor, except this one, except the mindset factor. Jake Paul has nothing to lose. He's got everything to gain. Him reaching round 3, round 4 is a win, in my opinion, and in many people's opinion. If Anthony Joshua doesn't detonate his right hand or a jab off of Jake Paul in the first 30 seconds, minute, and put him in problems, you know, some people would feel that he's underachieved or he let boxing down. You know, people don't consider Jake Paul a real boxer because he's got such a big profile on social media and he's got that background that he's come from. But he's dedicated himself to the sport.
Jake Paul's growing confidence in the boxing world has sparked skepticism among many experienced analysts. While Paul has built a reputation for defeating notable opponents, critics argue that his belief in taking on someone of Anthony Joshua's caliber is overly ambitious. Analysts point out that Joshua's extensive experience, technical skill, and physical advantages create a challenge far beyond what Paul has faced before. Paul's rapid rise and media presence may give the impression of readiness, but experts caution that confidence alone cannot bridge the gap in skill and ring awareness. Many believe that stepping into the ring with a former heavyweight champion exposes Paul to a level of competition that will test both his abilities and his understanding of elite-level boxing.
Is Jake Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with, and I have heard things. Now let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, right? He's able to restrain from the peer pressure that everyone's putting on him to hop on these certain compounds. Then that would be cool to train natural, do what he needs to do. But the thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very, very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So you should think to yourself, it's probably because he's not natural. Now I want to make it clear, I don't care whether Jake Paul is natural or not. There's so many people that aren't natural that are in combat sports. In fact, Tyron Woodley probably is also not natural. Everyone wants that little edge over their competition, and that's where drugs and anabolics come into play. There's certain compounds that are out there that just increase your explosiveness immensely, your recovery, so that you can stay in the same weight class, which is very important for combat sports, whether that's boxing, UFC, whatever type of combat sport you're doing. So that is why you guys have seen so much improvement from Jake Paul. Of course, he has a great circle around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's essentially the recipe to win.
Boxing analyst Wade highlights the significant advantages Anthony Joshua holds over Jake Paul. He points out that Joshua's blend of size, experience, and technical skill creates a level of challenge far beyond anything Paul has encountered in his career. Wade explains that while Paul has shown promise against previous opponents, those fighters could not match the elite qualities Joshua brings into the ring. Joshua's reach, power, and tactical awareness give him a clear upper hand, making it difficult for Paul to find openings or exploit weaknesses. According to Wade, this matchup is not just a test of physical ability but also of ring intelligence. And Paul will face a level of pressure and precision that he has never experienced before, underscoring the huge gap between the two fighters.